Americans are moving house at historically low rates. And that's surprising because the median annual income for households in metropolitan areas is about $16,000 more than the median annual income for households outside metro areas. Even in regions ravaged by competition from imports, for every 0.6% less manufacturing employment and 0.2% more unemployment and 0.7% less wages, the population barely changed at all. So why aren't people moving where they can earn higher wages? The president has a theory. He said,
you know, a lot of them don't leave because of their house, because they say, gee, my house, I thought it was worth $70,000, and now it's worth nothing.
What a stupid, ignorant, orange skin. Oh, actually, he's right. Especially since the economic crisis in 2008, apparently people have been locked into their mortgages, unable to sell their homes and to move to pursue economic opportunity. And so people who own homes are moving less than ever. Although you can also see that many less renters are moving as well. And that also makes sense because renters also pay housing costs, which are very high in high-income cities. And over time, the returns that low-income workers have been enjoying from the extra salary they receive in a high-income city have been gradually diminishing until now it's barely worth moving at all. We're talking over half of a janitor's income wasted on housing, according to one study. Another study found that high housing costs reducing worker mobility cost the American economy about $1.6 trillion per year in lost wages and productivity. And that's not even considering the other costs. About 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings accounts. So I don't know how they're supposed to cover the cost of hiring a truck and movers, or driving across America, or their security deposit when they get there, if they can pass a credit check, the social services that they might give up, like Medicaid or housing assistance or pensions that will not be portable across state lines, or the housing costs that they used to share with a friend or relative who may have looked after their kids for free, or the low-income housing that they may have had, or the car repairs or heating bills covered by community groups. It all adds up to a lot of money. It's like P. Diddy said,
more money, more problems. It's just the way it is.
Is there anything that P. Diddy doesn't know? But this all assumes that you're even allowed to work in another state. About a quarter of jobs today require state-specific licenses that do not transfer across state lines, up from about 5% in the 1950s. And some of them seem pretty unnecessary, like a license to be a florist in Louisiana. And that is a problem, because one study of some blue-collar occupations that require state licenses found that people in those jobs were 22% less likely to move between states than blue-collar workers who didn't require state licenses. But then again, even 22 to 24-year-old college graduates are moving into state about 20% less than they did 15 years ago, and they usually don't have any of these kinds of problems. So what's going on there? Some say that cities' welcoming attitudes towards immigrants, same-sex marriage and secularism heightens distrust among small-town residents and widens the cultural gulf, leaving them unwilling to move there. Now, that all sounds kind of patronising to me, but then again, that guy is a pollster who talks to these people, and I'm just some dude from another country who doesn't even wear shoes on set. See? So I guess I have to take his word for it. Others think that Americans don't take enough risks anymore, and maybe that's true. After all, there are literally towns in America that offer people $15,000 payouts to move there, yet more than 12% of all interstate job applications are to San Francisco. Actually, now that I think about it, that is kind of a risk. Covered in human poop. But leaving poop aside, Americans have simply been changing jobs less, regardless of moving interstate. Whether they move or not, they're just not taking the risk of quitting their jobs anymore. Which is a shame, because if they did take those risks, and the government got rid of some of those unnecessary licenses, and maybe even funded some more moving costs for the poor, it could reduce inequality, raise people's wages, and literally create trillions of dollars for the American economy. Trillions of dollars that they could then spend on sorting out San Francisco.